नमस्ते, वेलकम,
नमस्कार,
गुड इवनिंग,
नमस्कार।
नमस्ते। आपके बारे में जितना ही बोलो कम हो जाएगा। तो थोड़ा सा अ, क्षमा कीजिए हमको, हाँ। फिर भी हमने इतना लॉन्ग है आपका बायोडाटा, आई मीन योर experiences, your honor, your uh, awards, etc., etc. So I have written in pages. So I have to, I cannot memorize so long, so big thing. So I have to go through my pages.
Yes, I can understand.
Okay. uh, अनिल जी, अनिल जी, पहले हमको जो बोलना चाहिए, what I wish to say, that is one of the most respectful and honored photographer of India. उन्हें, उनका बारे में पहले उनका 19 1954 बॉर्न है अनिल जी, 1954 लखनऊ में। उसके बाद उन्हें पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन, he has completed his PG from Lucknow University in the year 1976. Uh, I think you have started your photography career since your student life.
Yes, certainly. Around 1972, 71.
72.
Yes.
Your graduation level, since you were in graduation level. Then he has completed his diploma in photography from Institute of Science and Technology, Mumbai. Mumbai. He is in within and with photography since last 45 years. So a long period, he has seen so many things of Indian photographic development, growth, etc. So we would like to gain something from your presentation today, so that we can enrich ourselves. He is 45 years in photography. Uh, he has uh, he has got foreign grant awards. He has exhibited his works in India and abroad, which I will tell you later. He was in teaching job. He has made research papers which has been published in foreign institutions. He has got so many honors and fellowships from so many clubs of India and abroad. So I would like to mention a few because it is big one, it is heavy. Uh, ARPS he has done in the year 1999. Besides honorary FIP, he has got from Indian Federation of Indian Photography. FIP he has completed, he has earned AIIPC, honorary FSOP, honorary TPAS, honorary FICS USA, honorary PSGS PC Cyprus, honorary FPS NG America, honorary Grand Master PPAS India, honorary Grand Master SAP India, GA PSGSPC Cyprus. Not only not only these honors and accolades he has earned, he has achieved MPhil. He has earned MPhil, the long cherished honor which we all photographers uh, do cherish to get it, to achieve it, to reach it. That is MPhil. MPhil he has achieved in 2009. In this context, I must mention only till date, only 15 Indian photographers have got it. Only 15 in our country. He has earned foreign grant, a very rare event for the photographers. We scarcely listen about foreign grant to a photographer. It is he has been awarded Charles Wallace Professional Grant to visit and study photographic collections in different museums in UK in the year 1999. So it is very rare honor rare achievement, I think. Photography has so many dimensions. We are restricted to camera. Through the camera, what can be achieved, can be done, we are going for that. Besides, there are so many fields which is coming out today, which is known to us through Mr. Anilji. Next, awards. He has, of course, for every photographer, there will be salons. There must be salons. So, around 250 national and international awards he has won till date. National award he has won from Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India in the year 2011. He has another accolade, UNESCO Award 2009, in the year 2009, UNESCO Award, a very respectable honor. Next, Sony World Photographic Award, another uh, outstanding performance, Sony World Photographic Award in the year 2007. Venice International Photography Award 2008. Now comes to nation. Within nation, UP Lolikala Art Photography Contest, which is known to us, and we occasionally participate. We all photographers wish to get through this competition. Uh, UP Lolikala Art Photography, he has won for three times. Three times. SAARC, SARC Award in 2014. So it appears that 2000 to 2015, his best time, best period in photography career. More than 1500 acceptances in national and international salons. Till date, he has acquired. Exhibition he has made, of course, his works should be exhibited, and two solo exhibition he has made in Atlanta, USA. Group exhibition in Cannes, France. Not only this, he is in photographic teaching career since last 40 years. And I think he is a founder member, of course, founder president of Lucknow Camera Club, which is a very renowned and respected photography club since last 45 years. And he will be the president of that club ever, I think so. I believe so.
I afraid not.
Research papers about research work in photography. 9 research papers presented and have published in various international newspapers. Many talks and interviews in various broadcasting and television channels he has made. A glorious event for him, of course, for those people who has got it. He was the editor of Viewfinder. Viewfinder, we all people know that it is published from FIP, Federation of Indian Photography, monthly magazine containing so many photographic events and facts and analysis, etc. He was editor for 6 years during the period 2011 to 16. 2011 to 16. Of course, he uh, chaired the jury chair for the national and international salons. Besides, it is not very uncommon nowadays. Besides, he was the chairman of the jury for National Photographic Awards and Lifetime Achievement Award, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India. Lifetime achievement is given to very few photographers of our land who has contributed seriously something new in photography field uh, are given this honor. And he was the chairman of that jury. He was he was ex-president ex-president of FIP, Federation of Indian Photography. For the period 2013 to 16, continuous 4 years, he was the president. Uh, his job life, he retired as head of the section, Photo Division, National Research Laboratory for Conservation of Cultural Property, Ministry of Culture, Government of India. He was the head of this section, and uh, so it is very lucrative and attractive to us. We are far behind uh, of these achievements, but we wish to get it to reach at these places first. So thank you everyone. Now we will see our theme today: experimentation with form and color. Of course, form and color is a special discipline of photography. Photography is composed of so many disciplines. It is very rare and uncommon discipline. Very few people is working with this form and color uh, discipline of photography. Let's see today. Thank you, everyone. Please.
सर प्लीज आप अब स्टार्ट कीजिए.
Okay. Ashish Shurji, thank you so very much uh, for introducing me. And it is my pleasure to be with you this evening through this webinar. And I thank Canvas for giving me this opportunity to interact with you uh, uh, with my works. So, not wasting the time, I am sharing my screen. Can you see the screen?
यस.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
okay. So today I'll be sharing with you my experimentation with form and color. And this is the part of my photographic journey which I'll be sharing with you. Uh, I am saying this because for about 45 years or so, I enjoyed doing landscape photography. Uh, why I do photography? This is a very big question. Because I love doing photography. And after doing photography for 2 3 years, I I have chosen the landscape, especially the black and white landscape, because uh, that in that period of time, I love doing landscape photography. So when I said that for so long I was engrossed in doing landscape photography, so I should share few landscape pictures, especially black and white, with you because seeing is believing. This picture was made in 1992. Where I made it, at the top you can see. This picture was made in Elchi, in Ladakh. We all know Ladakh is the heaven for photographers. In this picture, you can see Kumar Shukdev Singh, our senior and founder president of Lucknow Camera Club. We used to go once in a year to Uttarakhand for landscape photography. And being with him, I learned many things. This is again from Ladakh, Elchi. This is a place near to our Lucknow, about 300 kilometers, Dudhwa National Park. So, from the very beginning, I am not very interested in nature and wildlife photography, but with sometimes with friends, I used to go to Dudhwa National Park. But I only do what I used to like, landscape photography in that. This picture was made in 1981, long back. And recently, in 2015, I visited uh, Dudhwa National Park again, and this was the picture I made. Of course, it's a landscape, but a little different sort of landscape, you can say. So, with the time, things used to change. It used to happen. Uh, Tim Walker said, only photograph what you love. Yes, this is very, very important. And when I applied it to me, for a very long time, I did black and white landscape photography because in that period of time, I love doing landscape photography. So we should always do that genre of photography which you like or you love. This is very important thing. But then I started thinking that if I am able to uh, make a beautiful photograph out of the beautiful landscape of scene in front of me or in front of my camera, what so very special I have done. It is already beautiful. It may be that I may have increased some beauty by the photographic processes and some other things, but that thing is already beautiful. Then I started to strive to create beauty out of ordinary looking common things which usually go unnoticed. And a new journey has begun. After doing black and white landscape photography for about 40, 45 years, there was a change in my perception, in my visualization, in my philosophy, and I took a challenge to make pictures out of the ordinary looking things which usually go unnoticed. And this new journey, you know, my experimentation with form and color, and this part of journey I'll be sharing with you through my some images. The new journey. From the very beginning, I have always had a very strong liking for colorful geometrical and graphic forms found in nature as well as in man-made structures. With the passage of time, this liking has become stronger and stronger and further stronger, friends. And I started looking and striving for the possibilities to extract the essence of these elements to transform them into contemporary art form. I'll quote from the Holy Book of Bible just to give emphasis how important this form and color is for the human being. From the scripture, Holy Book of Bible, first book Genesis, which is Genesis, first chapter, second verse. It is written over there, in the beginning the universe was dark and without form. The Holy Bible further says that the universe was without form and ugly. God created earth, heaven, and every living creature and gave individual form to everything. Then he said, it is good. When universe was without form, it was ugly. So the form is a very, very important thing. Uh, this picture I made in 1974. This is a historical mosque at Lucknow, which is called the Tide Wali Masjid. In the foreground, you can see the definite use of the line and the form, and that is more important for me than the Tile Wali Masjid. So when I was doing the landscape photography, somewhere at the back of my mind, this that time I was doing black and white photography, so no color is there, but a definite concept of form was there at the back of my mind. Another picture which I made 1975. Here also, the light and shades are making the geometrical forms in this image. So with the time, gradually, my interest in landscape photography decreases, and my interest, or you can say my tendency of experimentation with form and color, has gained the ground and increased. Some of the pictures of the desert I'll be sharing with you, where you know that in desert are definite and very interesting textures and lines and forms are there. So I always uh, feel that desert is a fascinating thing for me. So few pictures from the desert I'll be sharing with you. Some unusual landscape you can say. This is study in color. Of course, it's a part of the desert, and it should come in the category of landscape photography. But for me, it's my experimentation with form and color. the graphic forms found in nature. And this is the urban landscape. Here in the foreground, you can see the two definite triangles, the geometrical form. So I am more interested uh, uh, capturing such type of the images these days. Form and color are used as the medium of expression, explored by man when they did not have any verbal language. And the very good example of this is prehistoric cave paintings. In that primitive age, when man or mankind was not having any language to interact, they used to express their feeling with other fellow human beings by drawing certain forms, colored forms. Those cave paintings are mostly in the ochre colors. So to communicate uh, in the primitive age, mankind used form and color. So that's why I said form and color is a very, very important thing for the mankind. And the cave paintings, the oldest cave paintings which are in Indonesia are more than 35,000 years old. So we can imagine how important it was for mankind uh, when in the early stage they used to communicate by drawing forms with color. So I'm just putting these things to emphasize that how important form and color is for mankind. In Indian traditions, colors are used as a symbol while practicing rituals. We all know red color symbolizes love as well as bloodshed. Green is symbol of fertility. In fact, every color used to have uh, uh, some meaning behind it. And in our country, in every part of country, these alpanas or rangolis are drawn. These alpanas are nothing but uh, different forms were drawn with the different colors. And especially on the auspicious occasion, we used to have alpanas and rangolis. It is part of our tradition, Indian tradition. So these alpanas and rangolis are nothing but different forms with different colors. So again, uh, as far as the Indian traditions are concerned, these forms and colors are more important to us than other people. I'll take one example. As far as Indian artisans are concerned, they have always have a very strong sense of form and color. I have taken the example of potter, and few images I'll be sharing with you which I made at the potter's place. How beautiful forms these. So I'll a saying I'll be sharing with you. It is in Hindi. आप सब लोग हिंदी थोड़ा समझते होंगे जरूर. जैसा इसमें लिखा है, अधिक दूर देखने की चाहत में बहुत कुछ पास से गुजर जाता है. And here I would like to quote Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. He said, "We don't look at our doorside beauty. We strive it outside at distances." It used to happen. Pictures and beauty are scattered near us, but we intend to search it at the distances. Uh, uh, it used to happen. हमारे पास जो चीज होती है उसको हम इग्नोर कर देते हैं या देख नहीं पाते हैं. It is very true. So we should able to see the beauty which is nearby to us. And to prove this, few images I'm sharing with you. This image I made long back. Uh, Two images of the six image portfolio which got me the Nikon Better Photography Photographer of the Year. I don't remember the year exactly, but that six image portfolio got me this award, prestigious award. When I said beauty is nearby us, my main subject in this picture is these scattered brains and color threads. Some religious ceremony must have done on the beaches of the Mumbai beaches, because we have given a subject to make 6 images out of the beaches of Mumbai. So I these things, which my principal subject for this image, must be about 2 or 3 feet at the distance, very near to me. And to make this image, obviously, I use the wide angle lens, 20 millimeter wide angle lens with the analog camera, of course. Another picture, the second image of 2 images I am sharing with you of 6 image portfolio. This is again in the foreground. My principal subject is in the foreground. Incoming wave of the ocean draws a very interesting pattern on the beach side, and that is my principal subject. So again, it was made the wide angle lens, because when I use the wide angle lens, the angle of view is very wide, from very near to infinity or a distance. Things can be uh, in your picture. And few images which I made recently uh, uh, on my Ladakh trip, uh, where again I use these images. These 5, 6 images are made with the mobile. I am using mobile very extensively these days. Uh, uh, Few years back, Nikon appointed me the Nikon expertise and gave me certain equipment, mirrorless Z6 camera. So obviously on my photographic trip, these days I am using that, and on this Ladakh trip I was using uh, Nikon mirrorless Z6 camera. But with that also, I used my mobile, and for this trip I especially purchased a mobile which is uh, uh, good for photography. And these images I'll be sharing you, where foreground is in foreground, my principal subject is there. This is the picture. And these days, in most of course, this is a landscape picture, but again, it also fits into my form and color study. And uh, the foreground, things in the foreground interest me lot more than other things. Ultra wide, on ultra wide mode, I took or made these pictures. I am sharing you because these are my recent works. Uh, of course, landscape images, but also fit in my experimentation with form and color. And I find mobile very, very handy and convenient uh, making these images. So these images from my recent trip of Ladakh. Few days back, on 6th of October, I came back from Ladakh. You can see in the foreground, very interesting form and colors are there. So this is the last image of this tour. When I said my main aim and concept is to create uh, my images from the most ordinary and usual looking things. This is uh, uh, on the roadsides we have many tea sellers. चाय की जो भट्टी जिसमें ये these vertical black forms are वो जगह जहाँ से वो राख को निकालते हैं. And in the foreground this a blue polythene was lying. That's all, very, very ordinary things. But out of these ordinary things, this interesting picture was made. And I am more interested creating such types of the images these days under my experimentation with form and color. Another picture. This is the tribal uh, outside wall of the tribal hut. And this image was made in Banaras, and we all know Banaras is another paradise for photographers. And for me, it is no longer a boat. It has my study of form and color. So things used to transform. I always feel things used to transform when I look from the camera viewfinder or my mobile screen. Again, very ordinary situation or things. Again, a mobile picture. Here again, construction is going on, and they used to hide the construction by these tin sheets and all that. During the first lockdown, due to the corona, we were inside our rooms for a very longer period of time. But to urge of doing some photography and making the image is always there. So uh, one evening when I was at the roof of my uh, house, this image was made with the mobile. And I always believe that pictures can be made anywhere and everywhere, anytime and every time. This concept is very important for me, and I honestly believe on that. Again, this is the VVIP guest house at Chandigarh. When I was there for some work, this image was made. Again, this is a mobile picture from the ghats of Banaras. These leading lines and color pattern, you can say, or the forms, making this picture very interesting. I always believe that beauty lies in the eyes of beholder. In Lucknow, we are having this Lucknow Camera Club, which is very old body, and at present I am its president. And we used to have the photographic outings in the lockdown period of the Corona epidemic. We didn't have any outing, but we used to have some outing. In such one of such outing, there is a park in Lucknow. We were there for photography, and this picture was made over there. That is a beautiful park, and there is a stone pass in between the grasslands, or uh, and somebody it's सुनने में भी बहुत खराब लगता है, and it is very, one might have some dirty feeling that somebody have spitted uh, the pan peak over one of those stones. But that's spitting, which is a very dirty or bad thing, can be able to make you a good image or picture. So sometimes again, pictures can be made out of anything, I believe. And the concept that I strongly believe, that beauty lies in the eyes of beholder. These pictures were made in the lockdown period inside my house. So this is not during the lockdown. We always have a corner in our homes where we used to put or dump the rotten things which cannot be used. So uh, these pots were lying there, unused, broken, but one may come up with good photographic image out of that only. Here I would like to quote where Edward Stephen said, "Every other artist begin with a blank canvas, a piece of paper. The photographers begin with the finished product." Yes, it is very true. We photographers usually have the ready-made picture, and we subtract or remove the disturbing things out of that. Other artists add things to make a work of art. We photographers subtract or remove things. And I think to make a work of art by subtracting or removing things is more difficult than uh, the painters used to do with a blank piece of paper or canvas. They used to add elements and make a work of art. So a photographer's job is more difficult. I may be prejudiced in my thinking being a photographer, but I always think uh, to make a work of art by the photographic process is more difficult than painting. Uh, these are my uh, other categories of the landscape. Uh, I always believe that there is a landscape within a landscape, within a landscape, and within a landscape. As I said, a small part, these images were made in the Khajiyar, a place in Himachal Pradesh. There was a snowfall, uh, uh, and that morning I made some pictures, very interesting uh, landscapes. And I made a portfolio of 10 images, 3, 4 images I'm sharing with you, which are some little unusual landscapes, having a definite uh, appearance or use of forms and texture and line. Curves, curves are always beautiful, whether you find in nature or in the human body. Curves are always beautiful. I think this is the last picture out of this series. I titled it the Survival Series. Out of the very adverse condition, these small plants trying to survive the adversities. This is one of my favorite out of these survival series. Uh, I always believe when one is able to make a picture or image with few elements, the beauty of that image will be of very high order. These days we used to call it minimalization uh, with very few elements. When one is able to make a picture, it comes under the category of minimalization, and this picture may fit in that category. I'll quote here. Uh, Leonardo Vinci said, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." Yes, friends, it is very true. In simplicity, we may have the ultimate sophistication. Colors and form play important roles in our lives in many ways in terms of utility and aesthetics. In this world, form and color are important aspects and attributes for everything, whether living or non-living. We start from Lucknow. Lucknow, you must be knowing the chicken work, the chicken clothes, kurtas, and saris and other things are very popular. And these days, the chicken work is in the international fashion. So this image in Lucknow, we have a river Gomti. These people used to wash and starch these chicken clothes and hang on these ropes. And when the air is blowing, air used to go inside these clothes and make very interesting forms. And as there are many colors, so this is my favorite place for uh, as far as form and color is concerned. So one image of my own Lucknow I am sharing with you under the form and color study. In nature, we find numerous forms and colors, and these forms and colors give concept of beauty and sense of aesthetics and stimulate human mind. And this stimulation of human mind is very important factor for me. This I am I would like to share with you, friends. I am not fussy about the photographic equipment from the very beginning. Whatever equipment is at my disposal, I am happy with it. This picture was made in the Amer Fort, Jaipur, long back with a camera 5 megapixel Nikon Coolpix. Uh, the digital cameras which I am having from the very beginning in the digital era, I didn't purchase any digital camera because in the analog era, I purchased lot of photographic equipment, three bodies, Nikon F3, FM2 and FE2, and about 15, 16 lenses. So I spent lot of money buying the analog camera equipment. Then I thought it is not justified. I should not spend this much of money for my hobby and liking. So I decided that digital equipment won't be purchasing anymore. So whatever digital camera I use or I am using, these are all I got as an award in some contest or the other. So this Nikon Coolpix 5 megapixel camera I got from a contest of better photography, and this image was made. And I always suggest uh, my friends who used to uh, adopt photography as a hobby that don't be fussy about the camera equipment. It is the person behind the camera who is responsible for the making the image. The camera is a sort of medium only. This image was down south, Tiruvananthapuram, the ocean beach side. Some, excuse me, algal growth on the some rocky stones, some beach sand, and a wave of water. That's it. Another image I'm sharing with you, made in the desert. Uh, it's which I said that I always feel there is a landscape within a landscape within a landscape and within a landscape. It's a very small part of that desert, but again, it may come in the category of landscape, but for me, it's a study of form and color. Another picture from the Bhuj, Gujarat. Very few elements are there. A lone patch of cloud in the sky and some white stone markers on the roadside land. That's it. This is the picture from our neighboring country, Maldives. I I was there in Maldives many times during my when I was in service, because we did some conservation of the mosques made by coral stone at Maldives. And in one of that visit, we were given a small plane which can be landed on the water. So it used to fly at a lesser height, and I made some pictures under the theme form and color. Maldives is again a place for photographers' paradise, and uh, very beautiful blue and the shades of blue to the green you can encounter at Maldives. So few images I'll be sharing with you under the theme form and color. These are the coral stones in making. This picture I made in the northwest Bengal, uh, uh, a place about 30 kilometers from Kuch Bihar. I was there for judging, and I was taken for a outing. Again, in this visual, it is more interesting because in the foreground there are form and colors from God by nature, and at the top you are having form and color, man-made form and color. So both the things, form and color by man and the form and color by nature, is there in this picture. Again, this picture is from the same place. As I said, uh, in my experimentation of form and colors, I used to extract or made a picture from nature as well as man-made structure, usually the concrete structures. Again, this picture was made uh, at that place. This picture was made in the Arku Valley in Andhra Pradesh, and consider these are some agriculture fields in the geometrical squarish forms, and different crop is having different color. This picture was again, it comes in the same category. It was made in Patna from the Ganga Bridge. Uh, Again, these are the agriculture fields, but for me, this is the study of form and color. Another picture, it was made, we used to have a landscape photographic workshop at Kausani, a place in Uttarakhand, a beautiful place. For Kausani, it is said by Mahatma Gandhi that uh, Kausani is Switzerland of India. So during that workshop, these are some paddy and mustard field. Uh, Patches were left to be cut down, and it made me a very good form and color study. Very You can see. So these days, I am more inclined, more interested making such type of images than the landscapes, pure landscapes. So few images from this particular place, very interesting. I am sharing with you. Two studies of the flowers under the theme form and color I am sharing with you. When we used to go very close to the subject, there is used to be a transformation. New things will come up. This is no longer a flower, but a study of form and color. This is the poppy flower, and this is a rose. Extreme close-up of the rose. And two images I'll be sharing with you from Andaman and Nicobar. There is an island called Ross Island. It is again a very good place for photographers. Whenever you visit, obviously you'll be visiting Ross Island, but when I visited Andaman and Nicobar, I made it a point to visit Ross Island twice in my 1 week stay in Andaman and Nicobar. Again, this tree, the shape of the tree is just like a beautiful lady is lying uh, in front of the ruin. So we'll have to visualize these ordinary things to collaborate or to make an interesting photographic image. This is very important. How you are reacting to your surroundings, the ordinary things. Again, this is a picture from the Rajasthani village. A mud house is there, and this log of wood was lying over there. And when I saw and visualized this picture in frame, uh, it was a concept was there. A lady is lying on a beautiful lady is lying on the beach. So we will have to imagine certain things to make such images. Again, I'll be sharing some images taken or extracted from the tree trunks. Very interesting. I always feel uh, before that this adenium plant used to have very interesting formations, and few images of adenium plant under study of form and color I'm sharing with you, and texture also very interesting texture. Again, curves are always beautiful, whether you find in nature or human body. Uh, it seems that a mother is having child in her lap. And I'll quote here what Albert Einstein said: Imagination is better than the knowledge." Yes, friends, it is very true that imagination is better than knowledge. So, some pictures from the tree trunks I'll be sharing with you. This picture, this one, and the other one which I'm sharing you, these pictures were made uh, at the Lalit Kala organized a camp, and I was selected because my work was accepted for their All India exhibition of art, and all the artists were invited for 1 week camp at Bangalore, and we were asked to give two images. Painters were asked to give two paintings, structures to sculptures, and so on. So these images I made during that camp, and uh, Bangalore is very famous for the parks. So I visited the parks, and this is the cross section of the wooden log or a tree lying in the park. So this image and this image, these two images I submitted with Lalit Kala Academy, and deteriorated. Weathering is there, the algal growth and insect damage is there, but I always feel this image also, this deterioration or weathering or whatever it used to make things more beautiful. I always feel like this. And this image, incidentally, they use for that year's calendar, Lalit Kala Academy. This is the calendar, and my image was used. So I'm sharing that achievement with you, friends. When your experimental work people like, it gives more positive energy to you, because experimentation always require a courage to do new things. And these pictures from the tree trunks I'm sharing with you. Very interesting texture and the forms. Just see. Uh, my friends, few of my friends, whenever they used to see these pictures, they, I know it's a sort of compliment. They say, Anil, these images are looking like a painting. And I thank them. I used to thank them, but with folded hands. I I used to say that kindly don't compare my photographic images with painting, because I think when you are comparing something with something, you are elevating that thing by which you are comparing. For example, if we said for a beautiful lady, when we said that she is looking like a moon, so moon is the ultimate level of beauty. So when we are comparing with something, we are elevating that thing. And what we are comparing, we are downgrading it. So photographic image will remain a photographic image, a painting will remain a painting. These are the all visual mediums, and in isolation we cannot see them, but we can. There should not be any comparison, because these are the different mediums of the fine art. So this is how I think. I don't know uh, um whether you agree with me or not, but I don't like that my pictures can be compared with the painting. I know this is a big compliment, but even then, uh, what Elliot Irwin said is a very, very important thing. Photography is an art of observation. Yes, it is an art of observation. It is about to find something interesting in an ordinary place or thing. It has little to do things you see, but everything to do with the way you see them. Yes, everything to do the way you see them. Again, this is a tree trunk. Very interesting. This is you have already seen. These images, two, three images which I am sharing with you, these are taken from the trees from Shanti Niketan. I was there for some official work, and I found that very interesting tree formation and textures are there at Shanti Niketan. मैं अपने कोलीग से कहा कि शांति निकेतन के पेड़ भी बहुत आर्टिस्टिक हैं, and these images I made from the trees of tree trunks of the Shanti Niketan. Lady in the veil, you can visualize a profile of the lady. And another picture. Here I changed this mask-like looking structure to little towards a little colder tone, bluish tone. I used to work very less using the Photoshop of the software. I personally I don't like to change much of my principal image by the software. This is my personal liking. But if uh, one may increase the beauty of the image by altering it or by changing it by the software, there is no harm in it. Now the man-made structures, friends. This is the structure or the architecture of the churches always used to fascinate me a lot. Another picture from the Arku Valley. Very simple image. Again from image from the church premises. Uh, we were there at the Arku Valley, and this is the swimming pool of the resort where we were staying. And I made many images, two, three images I am sharing with you. It, you all must be knowing the photography is the two-dimensional medium. There is a width, there is a length, but no depth is there. Depth we'll have to create by using the light, and that is very, very important factor when we are using the medium of photography. And whenever I look at this picture, are a definite three-dimensional element I used to see. Uh, this reflections is water is another thing which I am very much interested. So few images under the theme of form and color I am sharing with you. The direction of sunlight used, and when water is moving, it used to make very, this rippling water used to make very interesting forms. This picture was made at Jodhpur FIP convention. Another. This picture was made at Cannes when I was there for receive the award, and the awarded portfolio, 10 images portfolio, was exhibited in the Palace de Festival. And these are some metal sculptures uh, in the water body, and it interested me a lot. I made a picture, and when I see this picture upside down, it used to look more interesting. So you can do anything under the sun to make your picture or image more effective or beautiful. When it is looking much more effective upside down, why not? You can do that. Again, I'll quote, imagination is more important than the knowledge. These images deal with the pattern, forms and colors and their relationship derived from the classic ideals of balance and symmetry. From the ghats of Banaras, these leading lines or geometrical forms, leading your eyes to the at the top where a striking red color is there. Another picture from the roadside of Lucknow. Again, the formation of different things, this underpass, uh, stair structure, and the road signs or zebra crossing, and you can notice a tiny human figure that is there. That is a very secondary subject of my image. Again, another picture is made at the Lotus Temple. Again, darker areas and the lighter areas in succession. Pattern. Pattern is again very important thing. Another picture. This picture was made in the FIEP Congress at South Korea few years back. This is the metal sculpture mounted in uh, the ocean side, and a lady in a red coat was observing it, and it made me able to make this picture. Another picture from uh, hand sculpture, but in the foreground you may see the man-made geometrical forms. These images are based on theme, forms and color, which are visualized, conceived, segregated, or you can say isolated, and thus created. This may be the methodology. These images again created mostly from the ordinary looking structures. And again, deterioration, I believe that deterioration used to make things more beautiful. These images are from the residency. Whenever you come to Lucknow, friends, make it a point to visit residency. It's again a photographer's paradise. A definite section of images in the later part of my presentation of residency I'm sharing with you. But this image is from residency. This is from residency. Again, this is for residency. I always feel that unusual comes to life from looking at them through the camera viewfinder. This is the outer wall of some of the warehouse of the Maldives market. Every geometrical form is there, square is there, rectangular form is there, circle is there, triangle is there, and of course with association of two important colors, blue and pink. Very simple picture. Uh, Picture made with the lesser elements. And I did here one thing. As I said, photographer used to remove the disturbing elements. The stand of this desert cooler was uh, removed by the help of the software. This is one of my favorite. Ordinary road sign and those plastic structures we used to put to divert the traffic. That's it. Again, it was made by the wide angle lens. And again, my main aim and concept is to create something unusual from the most usual and ordinary looking things, friends. Sometimes I intentionally add human elements in my pictures, but I add them only as a form or color, nothing else. This picture, this is the Glasgow Museum. It's a magnificent uh, architecture, a huge structure, and I made my picture. But then I think that at the bottom right, that space is little empty. So I waited. I framed my picture, composed my picture, and I waited and waited. And this lady and a gentleman, and incidentally and interestingly, lady was wearing the red coat, an important part of my experimentation, color. And when this lady and gentleman moved into that area, I pressed the shutter release button and this picture was made. So sometimes we'll have to wait for making uh, an image. Another picture, these are some of the historical structures at Hyderabad. Here my colleague was there with me. I asked him to stand over there. Usually I don't ask or instruct any people to go there, sit there, stand there, raise your hands, but sometimes 1 or 2% I used to do. So for this picture making, I asked my colleague to go there. And this is the picture of the outer wall of the one of the Hollywood studio. Ready-made picture for me. A different geometrical form with a different color was there, and a lamp is making a very interesting triangular shadow. Incidentally, my daughter was with me, and I asked her to go and stand over there. So sometimes I do, but mostly I don't ask people to do like this. This is another very interesting and ordinary picture. This is Udaipur's fort. In the foreground, a textured and weathered wall of the fort, and in the background, another fort structure having two human elements, mother and a child, and incidentally wearing the red cloth against the blue sky. And all these elements made me able to make this picture. How you are associating different elements in your picture making, this is very important. Another picture, again, this is a restaurant, outer thing of a restaurant at uh, Hollywood, and here I waited to have a human form in my picture. And when this person, incidentally and favorably wearing the white shirt, was there, I made my picture. Another picture was made in Singapore when I was there for this better photography and Nikon photographer of the year final, and very hurriedly I was made only one exposure. So sometimes one has to be very alert in picture making. If you are not able to capture, that picture will be lost in the history forever. As Henry Carter Brussels said, uh, decisive moment. You'll have to arrest that decisive moment, and one should act very, very fast. Another picture, interesting one, I feel. This was also made in the South Korea during the Fiat convention. Again, a very small human form is there at the top, but very important element of this picture. Without this human form, tiny human form, that is also in the silhouette, this picture may not be this much interesting. Another picture from this Ghats of Ladakh, sorry, Banaras. This must be the tantric. You may see at the top some tantric designs or elements, these triangles with a white dot inside. These are all tantric forms, and this person or sadhu may be a tantric. And again, the wall, the plaster is the rotten one, the plaster and the paint flagged, and this deterioration making this picture more beautiful. Just imagine if it is having well plastered and well painted wall, this might not be that much interesting. Another picture, again from the Ghats of Banaras. This is the Rani Ki Vav from Gujarat. This is again outer wall of the big warehouse. And this picture, I was there in Ahmedabad. My son is there, so we used to go once in a year. And while we were there in a mall to some shopping, this is another warehouse of some commercial thing in the front of that. And I was having the mobile. Mobile is giving you opportunity. You are carrying a camera every time. As I said, pictures can be made anywhere and everywhere, anytime and every time. So when you are, it is not possible to carry a camera all the time, but you are having a camera in the form of mobile. So this is a great advantage of the modern time and the modern technology, friends. I feel there are splendid lines, forms, and energy and space, which are brilliantly crafting balance between stability and movement, and it inspires me to use them with a sense of aesthetic possibilities. In Lucknow, there is a university which is called the Integral University, a modern university. They used to invite me for as an external examiner for their fine art department. Now the fine art department has been closed. So when first time I visited that university, I saw that this premises or campus is having very interesting forms, modern architectural structures. So from there on, whenever I go to the Integral University, I used to go with my camera. After finishing the official work, I spend an hour or so and making some images. So few images I am sharing with you. Again, here I waited. When this girl came into my frame, then I pressed the shutter release button. Basanan picture was made. Another picture, simple picture made with the fewer elements. This is one of my favorite images. Uh, we used to go for shopping, and these days we usually go to the mall. And whenever I go, I always carry. Nowadays, I'm carrying the mobile, so it is serving my purpose. But in older days, when mobile was not there, I used to carry a small compact camera. And while my wife was making some shopping inside the shop, I used to search some images in the mall. And two images I'm sharing with you. This picture. Again, this was made with Nikon Coolpix 5 megapixel, small camera, ordinary camera. This picture was made in Disneyland. These colorful concrete parts were made to make the interest to the children. Is intentionally I cut. I included only half the body of these boys, the legs only, just to have the representation of the life. Path is there, and uh, when there is human being, life, चलते रहना ही जिंदगी है. Just to have this philosophy. Another picture. This is the toy train track in the Disneyland. Again, the concept is the same. At the top, intentionally I included only half of the body where moving legs are there. In one of the Lucknow Camera Club's outing in one of the park where an old locomotive was mounted, very interesting light, very interesting forms. Then this picture was made. Again, I used to incorporate different elements. This is the part of the bus painted with certain interesting colored forms, a rear wheel, and at the background some concrete building structures. And incorporate in totality, uh, making different elements a part of your picture, this image has come out. And other pictures in the parking, different buses were parked over there. and this image was made. I was in the moving car, and car was moving in a tunnel. From the window of the moving car, this picture was made. A feel of movement is there, you can say. But definite color and forms are there. Another picture, a colorful car, a wheel which is having a different forms, and at the back a colorful elements, and in between some sparkles of the red color, green and lone blue patch. So I used to associate with these elements. In Ahmedabad, there is a car museum, and whenever I visit Ahmedabad, used to make it a point to visit that museum every year. And these antique cars, old cars, is a very interesting uh, element or subject for my study of form and color. So few images I am sharing with you. This image is made with the Nikon mirrorless Z6, but this image was made with the mobile. It hardly make any difference. Maybe in the larger print, it may have some difference, but for the smaller images, or I made a print mobile from the mobile image. I made a print in 2 by 3 feet even, and it is good enough. So few images from this car museum I am sharing with you. Sometimes I add the texture. This is the canvas texture. Here again. This is a bus parked at the back of the Salarjung Museum, Hyderabad. Again, a close-up of the automobile. This picture I made. I was invited as a jury in West Bengal, and we were made to stay in a PWD guest house. And I noticed it has a big campus. At the corner, they dumped the old and unusable vehicles, and there was a jeep where I made some images. Two images I am sharing with you. And again, everything is deteriorated, but deterioration used to make things more beautiful, friends. Visualizing forms and color is scattered around us. My work deals with the pattern and colors, and their relationship derived from the classical ideas of balance and symmetry and form. My very old photograph was made with the black and white film in analog equipment, so no color is there. But definite geometrical forms in man-made structure. This is the Jantar Mantar of Jaipur, and in the background, the sky is having very interesting cloud formation of the forms. Of course, a red filter was used to darken the sky. So I mean to say, from the very early time when I was doing black and white landscape photography, a form and color concept was there. It was playing an important role at the back of my mind. This picture was made in the US. Again, the elements are the same, geometrical forms and texture. Again, very simple picture. Very few elements are there, and this is again one of my favorites. Again, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. You can very simple image, but all the sophistication is there. Very ordinary situation. This is the Lalit Kala Kendra at Lucknow. I was there to see an exhibition, and incidentally, I was having a camera with me, and this picture was made. It is said that fine art has two main weapons at her disposal, form and color. Yes, indeed, friends. And again, this is the Ghats of Banaras, and another picture, very simple, very few elements, and I think this picture represents the Banaras 100%. Again, very ordinary situation. A wooden formation at a resort. These are the place to stay, and a plastic red chair, that too at the center. A tribal hut, a blue textured wall, light is coming, directional light was there, so texture is very prominent, and very interesting shadow at the top. That's it. Uh, Here I would like to say that photography is mainly being practiced in two ways: as a medium of documentation, and secondly as a medium of fine art or a creative expression where the end product will be work of art. When we are using photography for documentation, it captures authentic reality, provides authentic information, shows reality, nothing but reality. When we are using photography for documentation, nothing is allowed to be added and nothing is allowed to be removed. We should always remember. But photography is also being used as a medium of fine art, as a for your creative expression. And when you are using photography for your creative expression, you can do any change by using the software or any other method to make it more beautiful. This is the difference between when you are using photography for documentation and when you are using photography for your creative expression. My my philosophy and my thinking is, it is not necessary that photograph should communicate. It may communicate, it may not communicate. It usually communicate when you are using it for documentation. Photograph should be able to stimulate the human mind. This is more important. This stimulation may be in the form of happiness or joy. This stimulation may be in the form of anger. This stimulation may be in the form of irritation. This stimulation may be in the form of grief or sadness. But your photographic image should be able to stimulate the human mind. This is very important for me. Uh, for a moment, kindly excuse me for half a minute. I'm just coming. I'm sorry, friends. Uh, a same photograph may have the number of meanings depending on who is looking to it. Each person determines their own vision of what picture says or does not say. All meanings are subjective. That is very true. Here I would like to say, George Barak said, there is only one valuable thing in art, that thing you cannot explain. Yes, indeed. It is said, very old Chinese saying, that a good photograph is more than 1,000 words. So when a photograph is more than 1,000 words, why should we describe our photograph using the words? Because photographic image is more powerful. It communicates more than what words can be. And in a lighter uh, mood, I'm sharing with you. Pablo Picasso carried a revolver loaded with blanks, which he would shoot at people who used to ask about the meaning of his paintings. Means, shut up, don't ask. This is painting is the visual thing. Just see and enjoy. Don't ask about. This is the visual thing. Enjoy it as the visual element. Don't try to contain it in words. It is very important for me. And here I would like to quote, it is said, and very rightly said, good photographs are like good jokes. If you have to explain it, it just isn't that good. Words cannot and should not explain work of art. And Dustin Sparks said, photography is the story I fail to put into words. Few quotations I'm sharing with you, important, very important quotations. Ansel Adams said, a true photograph need not be explained, nor can be contained in words. Yes, it cannot contain in words. Eliot Irwin said, the whole point of taking pictures is so that you don't have to explain things with words. Bruce Burnham said, photography is a non-verbal language. In fact, it is the universal language. Minor White said, photography is a language more universal than words, form and color. These are pictures made in the violence of Banaras. Again, deterioration factor is there, and it is making this thing is more beautiful. Another picture. This is this is the outer garage of one. He's a very famous photographer who got the Padam Shri also for photography, Mr. Anup Shah of Nainital. This is the old out wall of the old garage, and again the paints were flat, the surface is rusted, everything is deteriorated. But this deterioration making it is more beautiful. Since color and forms are well niche, innumerable their combination, and their influence is likewise unending. I have already said, I don't much work in the Photoshop because personally I don't like to alter my images. Usually work with the sharpness, contrast, brightness and color, but sometimes I add or substitute texture if needed. This is the fountain in the front of the Indira Gandhi National Center of Art, New Delhi. This picture was made and the texture was added in the foreground, in the background. Another picture here, this was taken in the Chota Imambara at Lucknow. I changed the color of this semicircular stairs. It was in the terracotta color, but when I changed it to the blue, this image is having important color harmony in it. So sometimes I do the changes, but at very few occasions. Again here the texture was added, the granular texture was added. This is our, our restaurant in Hollywood. Very interesting for me. And this image was made, another image was made there. This picture was made at the Cannes, and this picture is having a very French touch. I titled it "Let There Be Light." Form and color. Party is over, but there is always a possibility of making an image. I always believe in this concept that pictures can be made anywhere and everywhere. Again, this picture was made when I was there in the Palace de Festival Cannes. My portfolio of images were displayed there with other awarded portfolios, and this Nikon Coolpix camera I was having. I was interacting with new people, meeting new people, seeing the other works, awarded works. Then I saw this picture and I made this picture. Again, pictures can be made anywhere and anywhere. This is the street of Maldives, full of sparkling colors and interesting forms. This is again one of my favorite pictures. It was made at the Fiat convention at South Korea. This red thing is the roof of the bus, and at the back, the concrete structures of the hotel where we stayed. This is the modern structure, Ambedkar Udyan at Lucknow, made by our former Chief Minister Mayawati ji. Very interesting light and texture and the form is there. Okay. Three case studies I am sharing with you. First, residency. I won't speak much because these are the visual images, see and enjoy. Residency. Images from magnificent residency. I always said magnificent residency. Repetition of the pattern always make your picture more interesting. Again, weather or deterioration make it more beautiful. In rainy season, there used to be a algal or moss growth. Just see a touch of color at the top of this structure. Small bricks were used. This is called the lakhori in the local language. I try to reduce all raw materials in the basic forms, lines, shapes, patterns and colors. Images from residency. And then I used to play around with these elements till I finally composed the image. For me, it is important that these images should be able to stimulate the viewer's mind and thoughts. Images from residency. Each image attempts to show a connection between the physical and non-material world by making visible what others would not have seen or missed. Try to have a distance from the cliche in the content. I always advise you. And repetition of style, subject and contents make it stale. I believe on that. When we talk about art and aesthetics, experimentation is very, very important. Sometimes I feel it's unfortunate that we Indian photographers, for years and years and years, repeating that style and subject. Uh, there should be a change to have freshness. I always believe in that. Images from residency. Very interesting forms. Should have an individual vision, spirit of experimentation, as I have said, and should be innovative. Second study, Jantar Mantar, another place which whenever I go to Delhi, I make it a point to visit it. Images of Jantar Mantar under my experimentation with form and color friends. I'll go a little faster because it is going to be a long presentation. This image was made with the mobile. All images from the Jantar Mantar. Photography is the easiest art, which perhaps make it hardest. Very true. By listed model. With some human element at Jantar Mantar. A shadow selfie, you can say. I have already said repetition with style and subject content make it stale. So we should have the tendency of experimentation. Should we learn the phenomena of seeing things beyond the vision? Should learn to see the unseen, make visible what others may not have seen. The limitation of photography is in ourselves. For what we see is only what we are. By Ernst Haas. Well true. Here a very interesting thing by Rumi. He said the art of knowing is knowing what to ignore. A similar situation is seen by two persons. One person avoiding or ignoring one thing, other person is avoiding or ignoring another thing. So it depends person to person. And it is important what you are ignoring. This is the last case study of Lotus Temple. And I would like to tell you friends that on the 10 image portfolio of the Lotus Temple, I got the National Award of Photography by Government of India. So it's a modern, magnificent modern structure. Human bodies are there, but as a form, color. So these images from the Lotus Temple, New Delhi, under my experimentation of form and color. It's very simple. This was made with Nikon Coolpix. It got me better for photographer of the year category award few years back. Simplicity is ultimate sophistication, and this image represents this statement very well. All images under form and color from Lotus Temple, friends. A photographer should be a visualizer, thinker, and above all, a dreamer. I did some montage experimentation of my own. You know, montage technique is very, very old. It was introduced by Oscar Gustav Rogelander, and at the bottom you can see the two ways of life which he made in 1857 using more than 30 negatives. So montage technique is very old, and few important montage pictures by legendary photographers I am sharing with you by Mr. Sushanta Banerjee, a legendary photographer. Three negatives were used by late Benusen, Benuda, again a montage. Another montage by our foreign friend. 3, 4, 6 images are used to make this composite image. So montage technique is very old and we used very, and in West Bengal, especially in Calcutta, montage is very popular. I made my montage of my own experimentation. I made a mirror image, reverse it and join together. Again, the original image at the upper and lower, I made a mirror image, reverse it and join together. This image as it is, I like it, but then I did some experimentation and come up with this image, and I like this image much more than the previous one. Another image with the same technique, another image with the same technique of the Lotus Temple, and this is the primary image. I like it as it is. Then I did some experimentation and come up with this image. Further, I did some experimentation and made this image. So experimentation is a very, very important element. Creativity requires experimentation. Experimentation, even it breaks older traditions or styles. This is a composite, my experimentation of montage. This image was made. The primary image on the upper left hand side, I made a mirror image, reverse it and join together. Then I made it upside down, made a mirror image and joined all the 4 images and come up with the image on the right hand side. With the same technique, this image was made. Like this, primary image on the left hand side. So I did this experimentation and hundreds of images I made, and a portfolio of 6 images got me the honorary mention at international contest organized by the Heisenberg. So these are all montage experimentation of the Lotus Temple. Again, 2 important quotes by David Allen Harvey. Don't shoot what it looks like, shoot what it feels like. Gary Winogrand said photography is not about things photographed, it is about how things looks photographed. Another montage of the Lotus Temple. Another image of residency. It looks, these brick structure is floating in the vacuum. This portfolio of images from the tree trunks got me the State Lalit Kala, UP State Lalit Kala Academy Art Photographic Contest Award few years back. And these are the 10 image portfolio of Lotus Temple which got me the national award. And above all, friends, my form and color got me the Dream distinction Amphiap in 2009. And these are the 20 images portfolio I am sharing with you. Photography is the way of living to me. My camera is an extension of my eyes. It is said by Henry Carter Bresson. Friends, I always feel the same. The camera is the extension of my eye. These images are just a humble experiment to suggest the nature of geometric and graphic forms in relation with color and form and its possible use in photography as an art form. Thank you so very much, friends, for being with me. Now I stopping sharing the screen And this is all about my experimentation with form and color, friends.
Excellent, sir. Excellent presentation.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
कोई कुछ कहना चाहते हैं तो बोल सकते हैं। गौतम दा कुछ কিছু বলবেন? गौतम दा
It's great opportunity for us to see your valuable images. It's a journey. I mean, I never thought that I will see such beautiful
Thank you,
pictures,
ma'am. Thank you so
images.
very much. I am happy that
It,
you liked it.
I am very much overwhelmed.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
আশিস স্যার কিছু বলুন। আপনার মিউট করা আছে। হ্যাঁ
हाँ
ঠিক আছে।
हाँ allow questions from the members মানে যারা দেখলো ক্যানভাসের মেম্বার allow them to ask
আপনি কিছু
questions.
বলুন তারপরে
Actually, what happens to me, Anilji, that is a new dimension, a new front, which is mostly unknown to us. It has inspired me. Your pictures have inspired me to think
Thank you. Thank
something
you.
differently. Now, from this day, I will think something else, which has your pictures have inspired me.
Thank
Nice
you so very
presentation.
much. It's just a great thing for me that my images used to inspire somebody.
Yes. But photography can be made from anything. What you have said several times. It can be made from anything. Just visualization and
That's right.
creation, instinct of creation is needed. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, friends.
আর কারো কিছু জানার থাকলে স্যারকে জিজ্ঞেস করতে পারেন।
Ma'am, I make you pardon. Some guests have come, so I'll have to stop the presentation. Some other time,
Okay,
we may
okay.
sit together. Thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much, friends.
Okay, come again.
Pleasure
We'll meet again.
sharing my work with you. Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, on behalf of Canvas, we would like to thank Mr. Anil Risal Singh ji for spending this beautiful evening with us and sharing some of his favorite photographs. It was such an enriching session for all of us. Forms, lines and colors, light and shadow, creating mesmerizing visuals. Thank you
Thank
once
you.
again, sir. And
Thank you.
hope
My
to see
pleasure
you
always.
once again.
Okay, my friends, take
Thank
care.
you, sir.
Take
Good
care.
night to you, sir. Good night to you, sir.
Good night.
Good night. Are